So Rebel Wilson can't win. The poor lady, she loses 80 pounds. She looks really good now. I was going to say smoking, but hopefully she doesn't smoke. So Rebel Wilson has started a new clothing line called R&R. It's called R&R Club. It's a loungewear line. And of course, when you release a clothing line like this, you test out a few items, you test out a few colors. They did a limited item run, like limited colors, limited sizes. And you know what? When you are a formerly fat actress that made a career off making fun of yourself for being fat, you are unfortunately going to attract the worst of the worst as far as Twitter and Hollywood sycophants go, because when you lose weight, you are a bad person to them. It's kind of like plastic surgery. When you, if you detransition, it's bad because you're no longer representing the marginalized group anymore.
Well, what they're essentially saying is like, there's nothing wrong with you anymore.
Yes.
You can't represent us anymore. So she put out this clothing line in sizes extra small through extra large, which apparently is not inclusive enough. People were giving her crap for it on her Instagram. So she responded on her story saying, "We are experimenting with this limited capsule collection of only 2 pieces in limited sizes." And they almost sold out because those are the most inclusive sizes, actually. They represent most of the population size.
And so that's like literally just demographics.
Yeah.
They look at, like, maybe in America you could sell a lot more extra
like,
larges.
sorry we didn't waste money by making a bunch in 4XL.
Yeah.
But they're sweatpants. Like, get over yourself.
Burlington Coat Factory's there. Go to Burlington Coat Factory. I love Burlington Coat Factory.
So she got this tweet saying, "Former fat people love nothing more than to pretend like fat people don't exist after they lose weight."
Why is Twitter so
snark
awful?
Is turned up.
Why is Twitter so awful? Why? What is it about that platform that just attracts the absolute worst? It brings out the worst in people.
Well, it's just like, if you're not snarky or if you're not funny, then no attention is paid to your posts.
Well, they're not funny or snarky. They're snarky. They're not funny.
Yeah, but it's like the two polar opposites are the things that get attention on Twitter, and you have to fit into one of those boxes. Another one said, "A huge epidemic of fat girls who lost weight, and now they buy into the same fat phobia that made them hate themselves when they were fat. So now they want to distance themselves from fatness because society still hates women who lose weight for ever having been fat." That's not even true. And also, they're imposing this feeling that this self-hatred that they don't even know Rebel Wilson felt. Maybe she just wanted to be healthy.
No, she did it because the doctor said if you don't lose weight, you won't be able to have kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're imposing this self-hatred onto her that she never even admitted to having.
I want to go through this one again. Okay, first of all, I am sick to death of the term phobic not being accurately used. You can have, like, it is no longer true. Whenever you're not going up to anyone anymore, and there's nobody like, ew, fat people. Actually, there might be skinny, like, models that say, ew, fat people. But, like,
in their heads. They don't say it out loud.
But they're not actually genuinely scared of them. They just don't like them. That's a different type of bigotry.
Right.
Okay, you're not phobic of it if you just have a rational argument to the contrary. Hello, ma'am. If you lose some weight, hello, ma'am or sir. It would be better for you if you lost some weight. It would be better for your heart, your joints, your health. You'll be able to live longer for your kids. You will genuinely have a higher quality of living. That is not bigotry. It is not a phobia. It is not an irrational fear of something.
I'm shocked that Rebel Wilson has gotten more backlash for just existing while not being overweight than someone like Tess Munster has ever gotten for claiming to be anorexic at like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Or more. I don't even know. Like, just sheerly spreading information is considered okay as long as you are on their side.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna go back to the first one. I'm gonna be this guy. Former fat people love nothing more than to pretend like fat people don't exist after they lose weight. Can you tell me one example of that being true?
It's such a
I'm source broing you.
It's such a late capitalist mindset to think that someone is denying that you exist by not selling you a product.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was like the first thing I wrote down was like, imagine a world where, like, not only does somebody have to make something for you, they have to do it right away and perfectly. Like, she's launching a business. She will likely make more down the line. It's kind of like Candace Cameron Bure, talking about how, look, we might make more movies with more themes later. Maybe, sure. Let's do this first and see how it works. Right? Like, they don't owe you anything. Just because Disney has 100 years of infrastructure to make all the weird stuff you want to watch does not mean that everyone has the ability to do that. And it certainly doesn't not make them bad people. That's absolutely bonkers.
Oh gosh, like I'm seeing all of these tweets.
Oh,
and someone said, Miss Rebel Wilson coming out with a $300 set that only goes to size extra large. It is kind of ridiculous that she set the price that high, but also, like, they're almost sold out, so can you blame her?
Well, and, like, I don't know what the materials are. If it's not couture, because it's still fast fashion, right? Would it still be considered fast fashion because it's not?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know how they were made.
Yeah. So,
someone said it's not cost effective to make bigger sizes. The more material used, the more the garment costs to make, and there's less of a market for extra large.
Sell in America. We have plenty of fat people here. That's fine. We love fat people here. By the way, guys, that was the number one thing that I noticed when I was overseas was how they were like shocked that I wasn't fat. They were like I was in Spain and they were
which
like,
is kind of xenophobic.
Yeah. They're like, yeah. Like, wow, you're not like, you're short and you're not fat. That's amazing. And I was like, thank you.
Wait, did they expect you to be tall because you're American?
They just pointed it out. I don't know if that's what they expected, but they definitely expected me to be fat. Like these are people that knew that I skated, had seen videos of me skating, and somehow like thought, what, the camera took away 20 pounds rather than adding
You're
10?
Strategically editing them to not show that you're actually 400 pounds.
Yeah. That is a stereotype of America.
Right? I can't forget. Whoa. Someone replied, she's forgetting her roots. Wow.
Your roots?
Like as if being fat is some kind of cultural heritage.
Well, I mean,
and then someone replied, no, she just conveniently used fatness as a punchline to start her career and dropped it once she was over it. The old Chris Pratt.
They don't believe in actually getting better for the sake of getting better. They put negative connotation on absolutely everything. Imagine, like, you have to live your life digitally to imagine that life is that linear and planned.
Pick a side. Was she unfairly mocking fat people throughout her career, or was she your hero as a plus size woman?
And why is it? Then it's a matter of perspective. Sure, you loved her when she was fat because she validated who you were, but shouldn't you also valorize her for losing weight because it shows you what you could be? No, because you don't actually want to aspire to more because that's too much work and that shines a light back on you and your inability to make changes. And I want to make this clear. I'm not saying that making those changes is easy or something that should be taken lightly. I understand that making drastic life changes is a very, very, very difficult thing to do. I've had to do it. There are still many things in my life I would love to be able to do vastly better. But the problem is you can't just wallow in what you are if there are things that need to change and expect everyone else to do the same because it validates you. Mm-hmm. That's not how the world works.
A lot of the responses to this situation are, wow, watching Rebel Wilson on screen used to make me feel positively, and now I feel negatively. And it's really missing the point that that they seem to think they're making, actually, which is that no one is responsible for how you felt in response to their appearance. It was not like her being overweight is and that making you feel some type of way about her is not her responsibility. Whether you hated her for it or loved her for it, it's not her problem.
Adele said the same thing. She's like, look, I can't control how people, like, that's got to be one of the hardest parts about being a celebrity, right? Like, you can't control how you make people feel. You can create your art, you can make the movies, you can try to, in this case, in Rebel Wilson's case, you can try to make people laugh. In Adele's case, you can try to make them emotional through music, but you are not, in the end, in control of how people take that. It's why we talk a lot about how these artists, these guys making movies today, they want to both make the art and tell you how you have to feel about the art. But unfortunately, that's not how the real world works. But when a lot of how you make other people feel is tied to your actual identity, in this case, being overweight when you were younger, that's a problem because you can't, these people are going to back us because they've developed such an identity crisis around something that is inherently unhealthy.
They're wearing the blinders, and if they're calling this embarrassing for Rebel Wilson, I say in response, like, this is embarrassing for you, who is crying in a comment section because you can't find clothes that fit you. Please focus on yourself and your own self-improvement instead of impugning someone else for improving their life.
It's also funny because she gets it from both sides now, because first of all, they got mad. People got mad because they thought she was, remember when she came out and she was like, they forced me to come out because the reporter threatened to leak her. So that happened. She got pushed back on that. Then this stuff happened. She got pushed back on that. Adele, she loses weight. She can't win. Like, I feel bad for them. We are in a culture now that is determinedly anti-self-improvement, anti-positive change.
Which is why, like, even though you can say Jordan Peterson's takes are so boilerplate, he just, like, tells men that they should take a shower and make their bed. It's like...
That's hard.
A lot of people are telling you that you should never try to improve yourself at all. So, of course, someone needs to fill the gap in the market for, like, someone providing the opposite.
What is lazier than than a society that literally makes all of the best thought leaders people that tell you that you don't have to do anything? It's like a double whammy. Like, not only do I get to make money and be seen as positive, I get to do it by telling you that you don't have to do anything, because I think so little of you and of society as a whole that I don't think that you or anyone else are capable of greater things, are not capable of anything more than what you are right now. Either are you overweight? Are you what was something else that they seem to think that is okay that usually sometimes isn't? That seems to be the most genuinely unhealthy one.
I mean, it's difficult because there are a lot of things viewed as pathological, and it's difficult because they've toppled it over on its head, where they've reversed the morality. Like, everything good is bad, everything bad is good, up is down, left is right, east is west. Like, it is like you said, everything made to feel ephemeral and unstable. And I always say this, and I'll say it again, the only way to combat this is just like middle fingers up and not caring. Yeah.
Well, and that's hard because, like, when it was easier for me when I didn't do this for work. It was easier when you when I would go through phases, right, where I would take in a lot of media that talked about this stuff. I cared a lot about the culture. I cared a lot about politics. But when I wasn't doing it for work, I could tune out if I needed to, if I felt myself getting overwhelmed. A lot of people don't even have that ability, right? Like, I have friends that care so much about it that even to their own detriment. Like, I definitely have friends that use Twitter, and there's times when they should not be on. Like, it affects them. They get really down. They get really kind of morbid about society. And I'm like, there are times like that. You got to pull back. You have to give yourself a little bit of perspective because society isn't going to give it to you. And that's very, very difficult. But when society, like we said, isn't going to give you a healthy picture of the world, you have to create that healthy picture of the world for yourself. But when there's nobody telling you to do that, you've got like the people, the closest thing you'll get now on Instagram is like gym bros telling you to go to the gym. Like, it's all the memes about like women. Oh my God, you're beautiful just the way you are. It doesn't matter how you look. Guys are like, got to get bigger, got to get more swole, got to get in better shape because
I think there should be a happy medium between the two.
It is what it is. But I hope that we can find a middle ground. But I don't know if I can't look at I don't know enough about history as far as like cultural trends to be able to say that we can come back from this. Like, it only seems to flow in one direction, right? Like, in 20 years, are we back to an unhealthy medium the other way where only heroin chic is in? Like,
well, that's what they're saying is back in.
It's back.
We've covered that before. They're saying heroin chic is back, but then it caused a huge panic in the media.
Well, like it is what it is, man. I want people to be able to strive for self-improvement. Watch the media they want to watch, take away from that media what they want to take away from it, but not think that says everything that it says about them, and certainly not use it as a guidebook for how to live their lives, because nobody should be doing that.
Right.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.